appreciate all of you, of course, for showing up today. Shout outs to those of you in the audience. Shout outs to the NiftyKit team. As you already know, I'm Hunter, one of the community managers over here at Arbitrum. And for today's AMA, we have NiftyKit. Pretty much a very classic OG team if you're familiar with the NFT space. How's it going, Terrence, Dan?
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Yeah, and as OG as we can get in the NFT space, I know this space moves really fast, and I'm sure a lot of us look like those weathered presidents when you look at their pictures before they go into office and you check them out after. So appreciate everybody still being here and hanging on.
Dude, I love that comparison, by the way. I should have mentioned Dan is the CEO of NiftyKit and Terrence is the CTO. So we're just going to be talking all about NiftyKit today, and their recent integration of Arbitrum, and a couple of other interesting and fun things. Maybe even including some sort of NFT kind of giveaway thing. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it.
If you're good and you stay. But yeah, thank you, Hunter, for the introduction, and thank you to the community for having us. My name is Dan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of NiftyKit. I'm here with Terrence, my CTO, and we are a no-code smart contract platform focused on building tools for creators and artists so they can easily launch their NFT drops. NiftyKit is a self-serve platform, so users join, they use the tools, mint and manage their NFTs mainly without our involvement. And this year alone, we've done over 21 million in creator revenue just through our self-serve platform. So these are projects and creators and teams of all different sizes. The types of projects we typically see on our platform are larger collections, usually anywhere from like 3,000 to 5,000 NFTs up to 10K. But we also have smaller collections of artists doing one-of-one pieces that are using the platform as well. So we really focus on helping creators get started with NFTs without the need to hire a developer, and also without the need of having to drown yourself in hours of YouTube coding tutorials. That's how I learned, but these days it's nice to be able to have tools so you can focus on what you really like to do. So with the tools and the framework, you have everything to do your drop. You can collect wallet addresses for pre-sale, do batch airdrops, free mints, or paid sales, create revenue splitters for primary and secondary sales so you can include other collaborators and everyone gets paid. And we have a special metadata and reveal management tool that makes doing those NFT reveals really fun and engaging. The possibilities are pretty endless on what you can do with NFTs on our platform. I think the most important thing is everything that you create on our platform is yours. So you connect your wallet, you set the configuration for your smart contract, and you deploy it. You're in charge of managing and running your smart contract. We have a Teams feature where you can add other people, to collaborate. And some NFT minting platforms, they let you create NFTs, but one thing you got to be careful about is, the ownership. Is that smart contract yours? Are you minting into a smart contract that's shared with everyone else? The way that we do this is a true decentralized way, and we're just super excited to have recently launched the ability to do all this same awesome stuff that we've been doing now on Arbitrum. So thank you to the entire Arbitrum team for the support, and thank you everyone for coming out to check out what we got going on today.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, and it's so cool because at least for me, I think this is kind of like I don't know. I feel like for me, this is all kind of just like coming back around. Like I remember when like the apes had just launched, CryptoPunks were still like the floor was still kind of at a level where like you could still probably get one for like a not crazy price. And I remember I was just like for a small period of time, I was like, yeah, like what would it be like to launch my own collection? And I remember checking out, looking for a platform like NiftyKit. I'm pretty sure I actually stumbled upon NiftyKit at some point, but yeah, it's just it's something that like is really needed in this space. Just generally like dumbing things down for the average person, because I mean a lot of this stuff is hieroglyphics to people. Like in all honesty, I mean like even I mean honestly even like half the spaces that I join sometimes a lot of it is like this very high level stuff that maybe doesn't make sense to like to the layman entering the space, or even just stuff that like as an artist or as a creator it's hard to understand. So platforms like NiftyKit to me have always been a necessity. So again, I'm really happy to be talking to you guys today. Um,
Yeah, and one of the things on that is like a lot of people, you don't know what you don't know, and the one thing that makes me sad is those who aren't able to get the right enough information to let them know that this is actually doable. Like you can do this without the need for a developer. We do have a lot of teams, but with our platform, we have a lot of solo creators that are able to just make a big impact. So if you're out there and you're wondering that, now is a great time to get into the space because there's more and more tools coming out, and with the way the everybody's getting shaken out, and we're kind of in this build in the bear market, like it could be a good time for everyone to really just dive in and focus on actually launching the project that you've just had an idea about finally.
Totally agreed. So I think for those in the audience that are maybe even potentially looking to are either already creators or maybe even looking to understand, from like an Arbitrum perspective, what this integration brings. Could you maybe like you know walk us through like pretty much what integrating Arbitrum brought to the platform itself, and I guess how people who already use Arbitrum can use NiftyKit?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing the integration is going to bring is just you being able to do these more powerful dynamic drops on Arbitrum without code. So, at NiftyKit, we believe NFTs can be for anybody, not just artists and developers or people that are running projects. The kind of experiences that we're going to be able to unlock in the future is just going to blow our minds. Things like token gated access, both for digital and IRL events. We have a lot of people doing membership and exclusive loyalty programs. Gamification is going to be big, not even just in traditional like online video games, but gamification and some of these normal day-to-day things that you do every day when you're interacting with brands. And with just the promise of the royalties and being able to earn in perpetuity, I think that really opens up a lot of potential opportunities for people to get creative and use the Arbitrum to be able to launch a project that's cost effective for you creating and deploying and managing all this, but also for your collectors who are buying and trading the NFTs on Arbitrum.
Yeah, no, dude, totally agreed there. I think it's I mean I don't know. I mean I would say like up until now, I mean there's been a lot of there's obviously been a ton of collections obviously on Arbitrum. Like I feel like yeah early in the days, because I mean I've been here for over a year and a half before we launched Arbitrum 1. So like I remember seeing the NFT ecosystem slowly kind of coming up. But like yeah, and like it kind of came a lot from people who were obviously already devs, so like they were very familiar with, if you knew how to code on Ethereum, you could literally just kind of copy and paste it on Arbitrum. Um, but like adoption, to be frank, was actually like a little bit slower than you would think. Frankly, like all it really took was like a collection or two to really pop off, to really bring like the masses over. Which is obviously when it kind of became a network effect where it's like, oh wow, like this collection on Arbitrum obviously is amazing, but look at all these other like slew of collections that really people haven't even like looked into yet. But I think with Nifty Kid being on Arbitrum though now, I think it's just going to add like just more amazing collections people are going to be able to build.
Yeah, totally. And there's so much in the space and things you can do. Like as a platform, we have the responsibility of building out the right tools and tools that are going to be valuable and future proofed and really help you grow. One of the things that we're constantly trying to get feedback on and learn, especially since the space moves so fast, is just how creators are using, the different chains. What are they using them for? Especially for Arbitrum, I know we just launched and we still have a lot of cool projects that are going to come on board and that we have yet to see. But, one of the things we're curious about and would love to figure out from the community is just, how are creators using Arbitrum now? And, what are some of the different things that you may have heard in the community that people want to do with NFTs?
Yeah, so I think like a whole bunch of stuff. So like for some context, a lot of the uh a lot of the early projects on Arbitrum, and frankly a lot of them today, again NFT projects specifically, um yes, they make amazing PFPs, as you can tell. I'm here right now rocking my small brain. Um but almost like a lion's share of them also have this added utility, whether it's like staking it for some other extra ERC20 or ERC721, having a game attached to it, or even like anything you couldn't do essentially on Ethereum because like moving your NFT around more like for other than selling it or buying one just didn't make any sense, right? You end up paying a couple dollars in transaction fees, just to do that, right? So like imagine trying to like game with one of your NFTs on Ethereum. It's just not going to happen. So early on, I think we saw like a lot of like NFTs that all not again not only looked amazing as a PFP, but also had like added utility behind it. Um, Something else I noticed as well, which is also really cool, is that a lot of the bigger DeFi projects living on Arbitrum decided to say, hey, you know what, like we're like already doing great in the DeFi realm of things. Why not start our own collections? So like for example, you have GMX with the GMX Blueberry Club. So like, essentially just like a PFP collection of blueberries. They have added utility in the sense that if you hold, I think it's GMX and one of those, little NFTs, you get airdropped escrow GMX every month. Again, like just added utility for an already great PFP. You also have the Dopex, the Dopex kind of collection, which is the Diamond Pepes, Gen 1 and Gen 2. Just recently released the Gen 2 one where you can literally duel them. So it's like if any of you have ever played RuneScape, like they have like the duel arena. It's not the exact same gameplay, but it's the same thing where it's like you put up like some ETH, an arbitrary amount, and you can literally like duel against different Pepes that you minted. So it's I think like what layer twos and like I guess Arbitrum in this case specifically, I think brought to like the whole like NFT front is pretty much just like being able to have added utility to your NFT beyond the art, which I mean, like for some projects they prefer, and some maybe don't. But I think that's why like I think like having the option to do that though is really the most important thing, and I think that's why like obviously Arbitrum in this case is honestly a great choice to go, whether you're an artist looking to just show off your work and have it live on chain, or someone that's trying to make like a game. I think either work.
Yeah, no, I really am hopeful that the Arbitrum community comes in here and just blows our mind with what actually you can do. I mean, yeah, as the platform and us as builders and devs, like we just really see the type of minds and innovations out there. Like there's probably some stuff that we're going to geek out on so hard in the future that we didn't even know was coming. But I'm really excited about just all of the different utility. I know it's become pretty cliche and utility has become that word where it's like, yeah, what is the utility?
One
But
utility.
I think what is it? Yeah. Is it the PFP? Artists think something different, than the collectors and whatnot. But I think a lot of this is going to eventually just be so standard and common. We'll be interacting with NFTs in a way that'll replace the way that like Web2 has been tracking and seeing everything that we're doing as a consumer and buyer. So you actually have to take explicit action to mint NFT, stake, or do anything, and it's just going to unleash a really crazy amount of applications and use cases that are going to lay on top of the current data that's already there on the blockchain. So we're just super excited to hear, different types of use cases, things that maybe a Web2 use case that makes sense in Web3, or even something that takes Web2 and flips it on its head. I don't know. There's so much, so much you can do. But for us, we really want to just focus on giving you that standard level of support for your NFT project that gives you something to build on.
Totally aligned there, yeah. I think that in that case, I would love to hear you guys talk a little bit more about your NiftyKit passes and or team passes, pretty much like the passes you guys offer to different types of creators.
Yeah, totally. So the way that NiftyKit makes money is we have an NFT membership that we can run. Each pass has a different sales percentage for the primary sale that we take. So the standard pass is 5%, and we go all the way down to 0% for creators who are going to be doing many paid drops. We see a lot of returning people who want to save a lot of money on the sales fee. So the way that it works is you purchase the pass, you mint the NFT, and sign up for an account. And when you sign up for an account, you essentially activate your pass, which is pretty much staking it. This gives you access to all of the tools to mint unlimited smart contracts and NFTs, and just unlocks the entire platform. And those are available on Ethereum, but that unlocks all of the tools. Arbitrum, Ethereum, Polygon, Optimism are the chains that we support now, and that's going to give you access to the platform. So our membership is evolving into the NFT style membership that we're going to see in the future, where you actually mint an NFT for access to whatever. So that's what we're doing with our membership passes. And one thing that we're excited to do is offer a community pass to the entire Arbitrum community. So what we're going to do is give you a link, and maybe we can post it here, or Hunter, I don't know where the best place would be for everybody who attend. So here right now, you'll be able to mint a free pass that'll give you access to the platform to try it. We're only going to do it and open it up for everybody in here right now. So once we post a link, you'll be able to go and mint that, and open up all of those tools that we've been talking about.
Oh yeah, I think if you want, you can send it in. Let me think. We can send it in general, and then if worst comes to worst, I can just make a new channel too. If it ends up getting lost in the sauce, making sure that people can just click on it, just in case. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Nice. Right. I think I actually want to follow that up with so like if those of you remember, we had a Twitter Spaces the other day, like it was like late November, where we kind of spoke about doing this event, within Miami during Art Basel, with this artist collective called Animus. Um, and one thing that we did over there was, to be clear, like the point of the event was to kind of have artists come through who are the ones that are from the area, and pretty much network, but also kind of see the power of the blockchain and how they can utilize that to take ownership of their own creations, and really just do what they want with it, whether it's selling it, distributing it to the people that they like, but just generally just having full control over it. And yours truly was kind of hanging out over there at the Genius Bar, talking to a bunch of artists throughout the day about pretty much everything related to blockchain, crypto. And one thing that we spoke about, I spoke about to a couple of different artists there, was the ability to use NiftyKit. As as Dan was saying, pretty much like making their own collection and having it being from creating their own collection in their own terms instead of relying on like other I'd argue some predatory platforms to create your NFT collection and not even give you ownership over it. So I spoke a lot of them. I spoke with a lot about them, and I think the takeaway that I got, number one, obviously, like a lot of them loved the idea that they could just pretty much just use NiftyKit very simply and like launch their own platforms. But the other thing this other piece of feedback I got from them, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, Dan Terrence. But like the other piece of feedback I got was that some of them just want to focus on the art, like the creation process. Like I think we forget sometimes that you know getting into crypto really is not easy, especially in 2023. Like back in 2017, like yeah, like you sign up for a freaking Poloniex or Bittrex account, and that's pretty much it. Like there was no DeFi really back then. But things are a lot more complicated nowadays. And I think we underestimate like the barrier of entry, especially for artists that just want to create and don't want to deal with this stuff. Um, I love to hear about like y'all's experience with creators like that, just generally, if that's possible.
Yeah, yeah. And we deal with creators like that all the time. And, I think vast majority of our community members do not have any sort of like, I mean, can't say for everyone, but a large majority do not have a technical background. So we work with artists and creators who, sometimes have hard time, like, dealing with like Google Sheets and things like that. So we do see a lot of them coming to the space and choosing NiftyKit as their first platform. When we launched about a year ago, when we first started doing NFT smart contracts, a lot of the artists that were new to the space, decided to go to OpenSea and create their smart contracts there, or sorry, they kind of like rug pulled everyone, and you basically mint into a shared OpenSea store front, whatever. I can't say the exact name because it's too long. But basically, what ended up happening was, a lot of the artists like had their art basically, stuck there. And not just OpenSea, people had their NFTs minted on Super Rare, people had their NFTs minted on Foundation. They all have a very like shared smart contract system. What that essentially means is that as an artist, like you do not have control over your own IP and how your IP is being used and how it's being displayed. So basically, as a marketplace platform, like similar to OpenSea, they're basically making money off of your NFTs. They're selling it and they're flipping it, and they incur a commission in between that. So we started to advocate like having your own smart contracts and having your own work and having the control and levers to be able to manage your own NFT smart contracts. Um, and the biggest challenge is like like trying to explain to artists and who are non-technical at all to even show, like tell them what is a smart contract. So it took a lot of like effort and a lot of like back and forth with the community to really like stress the importance of having one. And recently we launched some features that allows the creators to be able to control like which marketplaces that they can list it on. They can even decide to block certain marketplaces if they don't want to. We're also unveiling features to help like creators basically have additional controls and levers to manage their own collections. So those are some of the things that we're doing to make it easy for artists to be able to come on board. But the future that we see is all artists, everyone, not just artists, but also entrepreneurs like non-technical people or even technical people, like to whenever they think about NFTs, you should always think about having your own smart contract.
Yeah, and to add on to that, the creators, and especially the non-technical ones, like for us to push innovation and the boundaries on this, like we have to meet them like more than halfway. So we try to do that with the tooling. Um, if we want to push the space, like there are things that we're trying to help educate creators by getting in the platform and letting them go through the different steps and understand what's going on. I think it's a platform like NiftyKit or another no code platform is great to just even go in there as your first time as an artist or entrepreneur, creator, team. Just go in there and mint on a burner wallet and just look in Etherscan, check out your contract, see how it looks on the different marketplaces. When you create it on the NiftyKit platform, you're creating your NFTs in a way that make it automatically available for any site or marketplace that recognizes the ERC 721 NFT spec. So you can learn a lot just by creating your own contract, airdropping some NFTs to maybe you and your friends, and then kind of just simulating or going through it if you're not going to sell it. Maybe this is a way that you give gifts to people this holiday season. You make your Arbitrum pass and you create a nice little graphic you can upload, and then you airdrop it to all your friends. So I think like with the tools, we want you to be able to focus on like, yeah, I want to make a sick creative for my holiday NFT for my family. It should only take me like 5-10 minutes to upload it and airdrop it to everybody if I have all the information. So yeah, we really build to help creators and get them through. So there is still work that needs to be done. Terrence mentioned spreadsheets. We don't want to scare everybody away, but if you take a look at NFTs and how they're made, there's metadata that that comes along with it in addition to the actual visual creative. We have a tool that lets you update and manage that at any time. So it requires you to not only create your art, but somebody has to assign properties or give it the data that you want it to represent when you're into an NFT and people are looking at it on the marketplace. So there is some work involved depending on how creative and granular you get with your NFT and all the data it represents. But in its simplest form, you can just upload an image, create your contract, upload an image, and mint, bare minimum. Yeah, we make it that easy.
Totally. And I think to be clear, like, I think that's what makes NiftyKit so powerful and like really, really important for the space generally. Just the fact that like just giving people the option, I think, is really the most important thing, and making sure that they understand the trade-offs that they're making depending on which option they take. Because I mean, like it's so easy to just have a platform and just pretty much like pick everything for yourself to make the onboarding like arguably smoother. But like at the end of the day, like there will always be certain trade-offs by doing that, right? And it's like usually it's just, and like I hate to use the word trapping, but it's like it could be like kind of trapping someone to a certain extent by like not having them aware that their collection either sits in its own certain smart contract or if it sits on like a shared one, and like that comes with its own caveats. So I think that the fact that NiftyKit gives you the option is truly the most powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that we do believe you having your own smart contract is the best way that you should go. But yeah, like there are benefits to working with some of these curated platforms where you are on their smart contract, because the marketing and the access that you get to eyeballs just by making that trade-off. I mean, sometimes that's okay for artists who need that kind of visibility. I mean, I would love it if, you know, you were able to do it on your own smart contract and somehow get that marketing and those eyeballs. But it's super hard to market and be an artist at the same time. You know, those are the big trade-offs, because you can create all you want, but like if you're not marketing it or you don't have a way to get it out there, then you know it's not going to sell. So sometimes that's the trade-off that you take by going on a shared contract. But please don't go on a shared contract. Reach out to us and try to help you as much as possible.
Yeah, and speaking of trade-offs, one of the stance that NiftyKit takes is we try not to be as opinionated on some of the choices that you can make on a NiftyKit platform. For example, like if you're a creator and then you want to, you know, do your drop, like you have a choice between ERC 721 or ERC 721A, which are two different implementation of the same standards. So we do kind of offer you some abilities to pick and choose your own path when it comes to, you know, launching your own smart contracts. But you know, one of the cool things about NiftyKit is, hypothetically speaking, like let's say we just stopped existing and we're just no longer in business. The smart contracts that you have deployed will stay with you because they're essentially smart contracts that is owned and operated, owned and deployed by you. So you can basically just head over to Etherscan and you know, do all the smart contract operations and still maintain your smart contracts and all the features in NiftyKit. Because we helped you, you know, our main goal is to just help you launch the smart contracts, but not necessarily try to lock you into our platform. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to kind of try out the NFT pass memberships. I hate the word using lifetime, and you know it may not be the right term for it. But the reality is, like, yeah, like once you deploy your smart contract, you don't technically have to pay us to use it. So we felt like maybe just having a NFT pass membership is the way to go. So that's kind of like how we're thinking about, you know, growing our community, but also, you know, letting our creators and our users take control of their smart contracts.
So we want to see all of you. I see are minting the pass. I want to see all those Arbitrum NFTs that you're sending out for, you know, holidays and New Year's as gifts, because you know it's a great way to learn. And if you got some downtime, it doesn't take that. So please definitely check out, you know, mint the free pass. I mentioned earlier we do have different percentages that we take on our paid passes. The percentage on this is 10% if it's sold on our platform for the primary sale. So if you decide to actually do a drop, that would be 10%, but it's free to mint and airdrop and create the contract. You'll just pay for gas. You don't have to sell on our platform. You can just mint everything, sell it on OpenSea or any of the other platforms. But it will give you the ability to access the tools fully and create revenue splits and token gated access and stuff. So I'll drop our address in, and if you guys want to airdrop one, would love that too. But please check it out.
Dude, I think these degens minted the pass out already. You guys are insane.
Literally sold out. Okay, so I'm gonna fire it back up. Yeah, the community is ready to go. So I'm going to open this back up while we're on. We got up to 1,000 mints, so
I mean,
it is set one per wallet. So hopefully nobody bought at us like during this whole time.
I'm not. Yeah, I was gonna say like I definitely don't think you need to put like a ton more out because I'm sure they're just gonna, you know, I mean, respectfully, of course, to the audience. I'm sure some people are gonna bought it. So, but yeah, I think maybe for some inspiration for those who have already minted the pass and are looking to launch their own collection, can you give us an idea of some of the successful and or unique projects that have launched using NiftyKit?
Yeah, I can answer that while Dan's taking care of the stuff. Yeah, so we've been around for like I said, like more than a year now. So it's been a very interesting ride. One of the notable projects that we had a chance to work with was an artist named Takashi Murakami. We had a chance to work on his Murakami Flowers project. It started with the seeds, and we did the reveal into the flowers, and we also did the airdrop for the cats and some of these other airdrops that he's working on. So he's also making some big announcements for the next project, which we also had a chance to work on. I don't know if you are all following in the space, but if you do see his tweets about his new project, just think of us. um, but also, we also had a chance to work with Gucci, one of the leading fashion brands. We had a chance to build out the smart contracts for Gucci Vault Art Space during NFT NYC. We did some collab with like Super Rare as well. So we had a chance to work with like all these like really top-notch artists that are launching into the Gucci collection. But we have also had like ton of like just smaller unique projects. Like there's a project that there's a lot of projects that are basically run and operated by one person, which is really surprising. And they actually have a very, decent sized communities, and they're actually making, pretty good money through our platform. And, they're constantly, active and engaged with our community members. There's some also unique use cases that came out of like, different ways to leverage like NiftyKit. We recently did a hackathon with Encode. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Encode is a community of developers that are, working on really cool projects. We had a chance to collab with OpenSea and Optimism on their latest hackathon. So we saw some really cool use cases come out of that, leveraging like NiftyKit API. Um, we do have a easy to use API and SDK system. We do have a widget code that you can copy paste and drop it into your WordPress, so you can easily have a mint button. We are working to expand on some of those feature sets, but yeah, those are some of the projects that we are working on. We also did a drop with Rally. I don't know if you guys are familiar. They're out in New York City, and a really cool team to work with. Yeah, so it's been interesting so far, and we're excited to launch more projects. I guess another interesting project that we recently did was the Thanksgiving parade with Macy's. They launched a 100,000 collection of NFTs. That was really interesting to see.
I think along with the bigger projects though, like these smaller unique projects are really interesting because with NFTs, it's not like you need to have a crazy amount of following to execute whatever you're trying to do successfully. So with the features of just being able to change and updating the metadata like in real time, we're seeing a lot of like cool dynamic projects where creators update the metadata of all the PFPs as their story of the project progresses. There was one where an NFT got stolen, so the artist like replaced the image with a big old stolen all over it, which depending like uh, that may or may not be cool to you, but it just kind of shows like the ability and the control that you have as a creator and the way that you can engage your audience. We have one of our creators, Jeff Jag has a project Rent Heads where you minted the original NFT, but certain people get to do renovations on his NFT and put an input, and he basically goes back, redoes it, and upgrades it. So, you don't have to do your typical, like, let's drop 10K and, go to the moon, crush, and be done. Like, you could, just mint a couple, mint your one of ones and list them, do stuff for free, have a free mint. It could be a good way to bootstrap a community, or just put out a free mint out there and see if anybody gives a shit. If not, at least you'll learn something, and use that information for your next project. So definitely see a lot of different projects of all sizes, and challenging everybody in the community to try to see what they can do.
By the way, like I just want to kind of call out there. First of all, like some of those top tier products you mentioned in the beginning, insane. Like personally, a huge fan of Takashi Murakami. But like, dude, you're pretty much giving access. Like this is the same platform that again, like an artist like Takashi Murakami or the people at the Macy's Day Parade used. And now people in the chat can use it. It's like the fact that like these tools are available to like to such a wide variety of different creators and people, just insane. Again, like this is why Web3 crypto and whatever you choose to call it, it's like it's so amazing. I don't know. It's just like it truly is the land of like equal opportunity in my mind, which is wonderful.
No, totally. And it's, some of our best moments are just helping a creator get their first win. One of the things we offer with our paid passes is in-app chat customer support. So, you could launch everything without code, but as Terrence was mentioning earlier, we have a SDK, a software developer kit, and an API where somebody who could even do their own smart contract. We have some of those devs come and just use this because it's easy and they can focus on other stuff. So, if you are out there and you do have some technical chops or able to pick up, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we have a simple embed button that you can style up and embed on your custom site. Terrence mentioned WordPress, but it just pops in any of these Wix, Squarespace sites where you can add HTML and CSS code. So it's you can be really quick to get something up that's more custom and on your site that looks more professional than sending them to your auction listing on OpenSea. So sky's the limit on what you can do. If you can do it, or find a team that can help you. If you, definitely reach out in our Discord. We have an active community of builders using the tools and helping each other out. Would love to see you there and see you open up some of these opportunities if you're a little bit more technical than maybe some of the creators wanting to just use the full no code and mint page that we provide.
Totally, yeah. I think moving on a little here. Love to hear y'all's thoughts, since obviously you're deeply ingrained into the NFT ecosystem, not only, I'm sure on layer twos, but across frankly, Ethereum and multiple different chains. Would love to hear your take on the NFT ecosystem, where it stands today and maybe where we're heading, just generally.
Yeah. Um, NFTs at the present moment, we feel is still like early, and it sounds really cliche when I say it like that, but just looking at this entire year, we've had some interesting projects drop, and we've seen some ups and downs in the entire crypto space. But the future of NFTs, in our opinion, is still we're still kind of shaping it, right? Not like us, but NiftyKit, but like everyone in the community, deciding which project is good, and deciding which project is worthy of collecting and interacting. And Arbitrum and other layer twos are also part of that same ecosystem, right? I think having the ability to interact with NFTs in a very gas efficient manner, and being able to have a on-chain provenance of like your interactions and all of that, I think those are going to be the crucial like next steps of like what NFTs can do in the future. But as Dan mentioned early on, is like, like what are some of the other use cases with NFTs besides like being a collectible? There's like memberships and there's different ways to engage, in IRL events and things like that. Ultimately, it's a community and experience building tool. And, we're yet to see all the really cool use cases that come out of it. There may be like things that people can do to, make the experience better. And I think staking and all of that is really great and it's really fun. But, like what are some of the other things that people can do to be engaged with their NFTs? So I think, the way that we see it is, at the present moment, it's still evolving, and the community is the ones who are driving that evolution. And we're just here to provide the tools to allow the communities to organize and, figure out what that next set of utility. When I say utility, I don't mean it like, utility, but utility can also be joy, right? Like bringing joy to, the community and, being part of that community and doing things that makes you happy. So, that's kind of like how we see like the NFTs, and we don't necessarily see it as like a true financial instrument that's gonna solve a lot of the financial things, but we think it's more about community and building tools and platforms to help you feel more connected in a very decentralized way.
And on a little more like technical level, like the opportunities that the blockchain L2 specifically, um, something that I'm personally excited about is just what's going to be built later on based on all the data and actions that are happening now. I think we're going to get a really crazy flood of cool new apps that are going to leverage, what you've been doing and what you have in your wallet, um, in a whole different way. And one thing that I want to see more of and I'm interested in is like, can we use, Arbitrum to mint NFTs that are more part of like our user profiles or things that uh, help us give the companies we interact with in Web3 a better way to use the data about us to make our Web3 experience with that brand better. I know there's a lot of non-sexy use cases that are out there, like, I can bore you with supply chain or identity, but I think those are going to be some really cool use cases that, if executed correctly, can be surfaced up into some of these cool projects. Part of the project's way of innovating and really making the experience, really cool for those engaging with the platform. So, super excited about just how dynamic the space is going to be as we actually start to build more stuff on top and obfuscate that layer of complexity more and more as we build on top.
Yeah, totally agreed. I mean, frankly, I'm on both fronts there. I think so then on more of, I guess, it's a personal note. What does the roadmap for NiftyKit look like next couple months, at the very least?
Yeah, I think, it's really exciting to, release like new features and, we've been, doing a lot of that this year and we're really excited to plan our next stages. And the key ethos that we try to stay by and, the idea that really keeps NiftyKit going is that, giving that provenance to our creators and allowing them to mint and deploy their own smart contracts. And as a no-code NFT smart contract platform, like, we want to continue to build tools that allow you to, easily manage your smart contracts, manage your, but also like there's going to be different types of smart contracts that we're going to be releasing. One of the new contracts that we're working on is having the ability to launch your own marketplace contracts. After the OpenSea decided to do a power move and, like allow creators to, implement their invasive smart contract. Um, we felt like maybe it was time for creators to be able to have their own marketplaces in their own environment and ecosystem. So we are looking into building that, but also like different tools that creators can use to deploy into the Ethereum. One of the things that we did for revenue split is we deployed a revenue split contract factory that allows the creators to deploy revenue contracts with a very low cost way. And, there's no commission or anything that gets taken out of that. We build a UI on top of that and provide the experience to easily launch revenue splits. So those are some of the features that we're going to be focusing on is to allowing the creators and allowing the users to be able to, deploy, like basically own everything that you deploy. And we're going to have different set of smart contracts that allow you to do more with your NFTs. And it could also be like staking. It could also be like ERC20s. We're still working out all the details, but that's kind of like the direction that we're looking at for next year and beyond.
That's awesome. And it's just so funny because I feel like sometimes people they look at like I guess this is kind of like a separate note, but I feel like people forget that, similar to almost any other DeFi or NFT project, infrastructure projects, so such as obviously NiftyKit, like there are clear and outlined roadmaps that, like, frankly, I'd argue actually have quite a bigger impact, I think, than standalone dApps. So that's great to hear, I guess, in a nutshell, that you guys are continuing to innovate and iterate on what you currently have, though.
Wait till we drop our T-shirt. You guys are gonna get full utility there.
Yo, free t-shirts. I love t-shirts. Oh man.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This community has been amazing, Hunter. You and the team have been great, just helping us navigate, getting here, and we're super excited to see that everybody minted out, and we look forward to seeing you on the platform and what you do. And yeah, it's been great. I hope everyone learns something, even if you're just poking around. I hope it sparks some ideas. If anything, it could be something you could let everybody know. Tell them that you know how to do that now. So, thanks again for everyone joining this space and coming here last minute because the Twitter rug. Please follow us on Twitter, join our Discord if you have any questions, and definitely stay tuned for a lot of this stuff that we're going to have on the roadmap. There's, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with NFTs, but if we're just boiling it down, we're pretty much just trying to get eyeballs, leads, and people in the community, and somehow the sales. So we're going to build a lot of tools to really help you on a holistic level, like understand what to put out there, give you a quick way to put something out there to test and iterate on, and hopefully everyone's successful.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Yeah, and likewise, really appreciate you guys for coming on today. I think just for those in the chat who are looking to obviously with their newly creator past NFTs mint their own collection, where would they go for any additional help or support or anything like that if they do want to launch their own collection on Arbitrum using NiftyKit?
Yeah, so you could jump in our Discord. That's probably the best place to get some of your more specific questions answered. Also if you have ideas of things that you want to launch, we keep our documentation and all of that stuff updated, so that could give you some ideas on the documentation. That's all accessible, but hopefully just walking through the app and going through the dialogues will be pretty straightforward. I would just say, once you log in, make sure you activate your pass, and if you have any questions, reach out to us on Discord. We'll try to help you out as much as we can.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, again, appreciate it. Dan, Terrence, thank you guys so much for coming on today. Blessing us with your presence, all 1,000 plus people. It's insane, by the way. I think this is the most people I've ever seen on a
Yeah,
Discord thing.
thank you, everyone. It gives me hope that people still love NFTs. So, thank you, everyone, for being here. This is all we do is NFTs. So, it's great to see all these wonderful PFPs in here.
Heck yeah, dude. That being said, again, appreciate you guys for coming on today. And yeah, we look forward to seeing all the updates you bring, and of course, onboarding the rest of the creators in the world onto Arbitrum via NiftyKit. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Peace.